Into finals weekend on the Challenger Series in Portugal, and some huge matchups getting ready to go out and take on the waves at Ribeira de Las. Try and get something really special in terms of result to help their campaign towards the dream of getting to the CT. Some surfers already very much putting their hands up to do that, and they're on the cusp of a big result here. Some of the standouts are prepared to go to battle, and there's niceties on the promenade out in the water. Things will be a little bit more hotly contested. Morning vision here at Ribeira will fly over the creek that gives this spot its name. We'll have a look at a crisp edge to some of the lines. A little bit of energy out there on the reef. We'll dial into exactly what's going on throughout the day shortly, but it looks pretty active. It looks quite surfy. There's been some warm-up waves to bright-eyed and bushy-tailed morning people in the form of JJ Starling and most notably Ben Mundy. How we doing this morning?
Have you ever lost $1 and found 20 cents, Paul? Yeah. No, very good. Yeah, quarterfinals. This is what we're here for. Big names, big matchups. We've distilled the talent to the final day on Saturday. There's waves, there's good wind, there's good surfers. Yeah, I'm really stoked to be here.
Saturday morning in Portugal, quite close to getting towards the end of the event, though. But these quarter matchups look great. What are we expecting, Jess, today?
Big stuff. I mean, every single one of these surfers, they've earned their right to be here. They've battled through these earlier rounds. We've got a couple of those higher seeds, just still marching their way through up the top. But then we've got a couple underdogs, some dark horses coming through. It's kind of the battle of the two through the quarterfinals in both the men and the women. So I feel like these rankings are going to get a big shake-up.
Been quite grueling in some ways. Day 6 now of the event. There's been a lot of it. Do you think maybe fatigue's starting to come into it, Ben?
Well, they surf, for half an hour every day? So, no, I would say. It's more mental fatigue is the issue. And but I think the fact that every day there's been waves, we've been on, there's been no lay days. So, it's more about being mentally prepared, and these 8 surfers left on both sides of the draw, they'll be ready, absolutely ready for this.
Someone who's always ready is Trav Logie. Let's go down to him for the call with Claudia Pin.
Good morning, everyone. We're here at Travis. What's the call for today?
We're going to start with the women's quarters, 35-minute heats. Pleasantly surprised with what we have out there today. Some really fun waves coming through. Men's quarters are on standby at this moment.
We've been seeing a window for tomorrow. We've been talking about it all week. What's the call for it?
Yeah, tomorrow's looking really good swell-wise. We have some really big tides tomorrow. I've actually competed out here before when it's been huge tides and solid, and at dead low tide it's challenging to say the least. So doing a few heats today definitely puts us in a better position to pick the odds out of it tomorrow, but it's looking really promising.
Thank you so much. Promising day for tomorrow, but for now we're on.
Love it. Looking cool. Feeling great.
Let's talk about the cap, Paul. That was a long brim, I would say. He's got the very long brim, which I liked. The swell looks good. He's always all over it. Yeah, so I like the long brim, like the fact there's swell. What wind? Wasn't too worried about it. All good.
Start into our Surfline forecast and see what we're getting served up from the Atlantic over today and tomorrow, the last 2 days of our waiting period, and the most important as well, 4 finals. What are we looking at here today is slightly smaller energy, and then it ramps up significantly overnight.
Yeah, I mean, look at those dark reds and yellows moving towards us overnight here. So tomorrow we're definitely going to see that pulse and swell. 3 to 4 foot faces this morning, rolling into the afternoon. Side shore winds, it says this morning, but it's pretty nothing, to be honest. And then a little side onshore, so it does start to pick up a little bit throughout the day, but that's just the good thing about Ribeira is it's kind of protected from most winds. We've really just been pushing through, and then tomorrow, look at that, 6 to 8 foot faces, side shore winds, onshore in the afternoon, but the big thing is the tide. So we're coming to a low tide just at 7:10 this morning, and it felt a lot lower than what we've seen over this week. And the high tides, it's going to be a lot higher, 3 metre high tide. So there's a bit of difference between the high and low. So just getting these heats underway and having waves this morning, it's really going to help us out.
Setting up our first quarter for the women, we'll see Kira Pinkerton taking on Tia Zabrowski. Tia came into this event ranked number 1. She's still going, and she has looked unbelievable throughout the rounds, really. No one managing to do any kind of damage to her at all in her heats. She's competed without particularly feeling like it's taken any sort of toll on her. The youngster wasn't even sure what round she'd got into when she won her last heat. So it's like, oh, is it quarters? Is it? Cool. She'll be taking all of this in her stride. Kira Pinkerton use her skill set to get good numbers throughout. She'll be dangerous out here this morning for Tia.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're going to get 2 really opposing styles, and this is what I was touching on in the morning show just before. Tia, she's just this fast, really tight in the pocket, whippy surfer, and absolutely attacks. I mean, she really does only have 1 gear, and it's just all systems go. But Kira took her a couple of waves to find her feet in that round of 16 heat against Sally Fitzgibbons, but that was a big name to take down. Last year's champion here, but arguably the most powerful surfer on the women's side of the draw. I mean, she is incredible when it comes to just laying the rail for Kira. So yeah, it's going to be a great matchup.
35 minutes on the clock for these two. We saw some heats which tested the resolve in terms of the patience of surfers, particularly with priority yesterday. And there were some calls about when to stick, when to twist, and not always the right ones in terms of what happens with the waves. So the read of this lineup, which always proves tricky. Let's see how we go today. A spot in the semis at stake here. And the gap between the points dividend through the rounds increases as we go all the way towards crowning a winner and crystallising those rankings. We'll be keeping an eye on them. Loads of talking points, but overall, looking at the year, Monday, it's no bigger storyline on the Challenger Series in women's surfing than Tia Zabrowski.
Yeah, it's really hard to not overhype or be too much pressure on this young girl who's just 14. So when someone comes into the sport at such a young age and kind of starts rattling the cage, you want to sort of mix up hold your counsel. She's so young, but this surfer is so good. Perhaps once in a generation, top of the rankings on the Challenger Series, and she's just been too good. I can't remember a time, even in this event, where she's been under pressure. She's been letting out from the start. Yeah, so it's really good to see it unfold. Almost every heat, development is just progressing at such a rate. Yeah, she's the future of the sport, basically.
First wave here, Pinkerton. Slice for her. And then patient preparation for an inside runner section. She'll go up and clip the lip. Didn't push super hard. Did get the finish though, which will leave TT in the lineup all alone and thinking about her wave and exactly what she's going to look for.
So Kira's been working with Brad Gerlach over the last 9 months. Ger, one of the legends of the sport, his wave key surfing coach methodology. They would have identified a strong start, obviously. It's not rocket science, but unfortunately for Kira, that wave just didn't really deliver. Just a bit tentative, but up and riding.
Still looks great as well, doesn't he, Gert? Super fit, still ripping.
Yeah.
Incredibly healthy human being with a great training program for surfers like Kira. On a second wave already. She got a couple of punches up into the lip. Meanwhile, Zabrowski. Just a light touch from her. Short radius turns. Ooh, okay, and then the kick out for the paddle battle. I don't even think we'll see a response here from Kira. She just kind of can't be bothered. Just like, whatever, mate.
It's 7:45 a.m.
You paddle and kick your legs if you want.
But Zabrowski, even that, I mean, it's a fairly easy decision to make, but kicks out, starts put on the motors. Heat strategy for such a young surfer is still a massive part of it, because you think for all her talent and her temperament, she's obviously just an incredible surfer, but she's sort of got that heat strategy pretty much locked in as well for 14. She doesn't get rattled. To have that experience like that the other surfers might think, okay, well, that could be a weak link. She's young, she might be fold under pressure, but no, Zabrowski's got that part of her surfing also really, really dialed in, so it's a big package. Pinkerton just finishing off there.
It's mum and dad alongside Thomas Financh, the local from this very wave here. So a lot of different counsel for Tia, and you think about someone who's so young with a lot of advice from a lot of people. And that's one of the other things been quite impressive about her over the last couple of years, really. So how she's managed to just focus on certain advice and others maybe just put to the side. Because, I mean, you can't follow everyone's advice. Everyone's got a different idea of exactly what you should be doing.
If you're a 14-year-old, Paul, if you can hark back to that, I don't know, epoch, what type of advice would you like to have been given at such a young age? as a young Paul Evans.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
When you arrived at the school as a young boy, I think you're a bit younger than 14. What name did you choose for the roll call when you turned up in UK? You're a bit obviously not a fish out of water, but you were new to the school. What name did you use?
Are you talking about the youth club register?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came through halfway through the first year, so I was new in it.
Tough times, obviously, because
I fitted pretty well, to be fair. I told him my first name was Paul, and my second name was Cool, and that carried on for a number of years.
Right, had to maintain the line.
Actually, Davoed 4 years later, and I told him it's actually not cool. He literally thought I was Mr. Cool. Speaking of which, Chico Alves, bum dear, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Paul. A bit of a chilly morning here at the EDP Ericeira Pro. Lovely morning, though. It's one of those mornings. Everything looks so clean. A bit of a low tide right now, but the waves look really, really clean. There's a bit of a lull. There's a big period in the swell, but I'll tell you what, when those waves come, they look really, really good. I had the chance to have a quick conversation with Yolanda, and Yolanda is coming up shortly, and she just said that it was a best surfer until now at Ribeiradilhas this morning. So there's signs of good stuff coming in this round of women. And yeah, I'm really stoked to be here this morning.
Chico, it's Ben here. Did you get up for the early surf? Did you get up for the free surf? For the higher tide?
What? Sorry?
Did you get up for the free surf, the early surf? Were you out there testing the waters?
No, I wasn't. I got here a bit later, but they told me the waves were pumping early on. But they also said it was really, really cold, and they had some of them actually were able to wear boots as well. So that's interesting to see if they're going to use it or not. With these big lulls, the feet might get really, really cold in between waves. And yeah, lovely morning here in Ericeira.
Great update from the water's edge. Chico Alves bringing us the info from down there on a low tide shoreline. The boulders exposed. And right now, little pulses of energy being maximised by surfers trying to get to semi-finals. It's a couple of fours really. Kiro with a 4.5 and a 3.5. TT the 4.07.
I like how he teased the booty narrative there, Paul. To booty or not to booty was he's kind of put it in. Oh, this looks good, Paulie.
Yeah, here goes the American. He saw that boil from the low tide. And this section will get nice and steep here. So best looking section and wave we've seen. And the fastest surfing as well. A nice hit into the lip.
For the, I mean, I'd be very surprised for the non-surfers that are sort of checking in this morning. But those boils with the bubbles on the wave, you're a pretty scientific mind, Paul. Why do they happen, and are they markers in the lineup?
Absolutely are markers in the lineup. The reef's pretty even here until it isn't, particularly around low tide when you will get some of those stand out. You saw Kira on the takeoff, and she dealt with that steep, sucky section pretty well, and it gave her a load of speed to go and hit that and kind of hammer it. And the instant difference between those first waves just trundled a bit down the reef, and between that one, that she was able to punch pretty hard. It always looks good. There's the Gur.
He's got the binoculars, which I like. He's confident, living in Australia now. Kira was really...
Former world number 2. Quit the tour, rated 2 in the world at 25, 26 years old.
Whilst wearing webs at the time. Yeah, one of sports surfing's real characters. His style was so unique. You know, he just looked incredible surfing. And even back then, just had a different approach to things. He drew different lines while surfing, and always he questioned the orthodoxy of things. He was,
loves his time in Europe as well. The great story about him and Marty Thomas buying motorbikes in London and driving through France.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of your articles. Yeah, look it up if you can. Yeah, no, he's such a class act. Always trying to push the sport in new and interesting directions. Even now with his, as a mentor, he's just, he's one of the great sort of characters. Looks great. It's got the orange binoculars. Kind of look more bird-watchy right there. He's got the little bird-watching look about him, but still absolutely, in his own way, moving in the direction of surfing. I think, even I would say now, like Kira's right on Tia there. Maybe that would be, do you think that's a, like a strategy, Paul?
I think everything be very, very much dialed in from Brad. Absolutely every part of it. And we focused a lot on sort of biomechanics, a lot of the stuff while the surfer's actually riding. But someone like him, I think, will have a lot of advice as well, and strategy and tactics for all aspects of putting the heat together. The surfing part, really, certainly in terms of the time, is only just a very small percentage of what you're doing. Most of the time it's not surfing, and it's trying to impact things, gain any kind of advantage that you possibly can. So Tia with priority says no, and Kira will have a quick look and out. Meanwhile, Tia likes to look at this. Driving around the first section, gives it a hit. And then again, a couple of turns combo to finish. So not holding them for too long. There's the squad. Joanne Deroux, Thomas Fernandes, Cowley Vast. There's Papa watching on as well. Encouragement for her. Her best wave?
Yeah, and like Kira was trying to do everything she could to kind of get in her mind then. She was rattling it away. That first turn was so zappy and a big finish. So once again, Zebrowski just didn't fall for the tricks, didn't fall for trying to sell her on the wave. Got the best wave of the set and absolutely smashed it. So again, that mental fortitude she's got at such a young age, it's so impressive to be able to do all that, to forget the stuff that's going on around her and just surf like that. Yeah, she just a really, really impressive opening wave for Zebrowski. Needed a score as well. Pinkerton had a couple of waves, and she's got right back into it.
Just on Ger being back here in Europe and watching everything that's going on here on the Challenges, what do you think might be some of the significant changes between his time on tour? I think it was 91, wasn't it? His last season. So he quit that winter, and now. Has the tour changed much, Ben?
Yeah, it has, Paul. Seeing as it was a long, long time ago, things change.
The essences of surfing doesn't.
People don't change is my rule. But yeah, well, I would say
I believe in the power of change for people.
I would say one of the biggest changes is the depth of field. So then the number of surfers, the number of people all around the world. So I think even though girls are once in a generational talent, I think there's a lot more very, very good surfers. So I think the sport has spread around the world. In terms of back then, just basics kind of rule-wise, it was all about the number of waves you caught. I think it was 4 to the beach, where now it's about quality rather than quantity.
Looking to find quality. Zebrowski not pushing too hard and actually getting a little stuck there. But prior to that, good work done for the 6.5. So her best wave, the best wave of the heat as well. Another number to come in. Kira Pinkerton chasing 5.08 prior to any improvement. Not necessarily sure we would have seen much of that with that wave.
I mean, she's so close to qualifying, basically, for the CT. I think, she's in the lead right now. Tia, if she gets to the semi-finals, another massive result. She hasn't lost before a quarterfinal throughout the whole year in the Challenger Series. She wins here. I mean, that's not an absolute lock, but she's so close to the CT. Pinkerton behind the foam here, just kicks out. So she's literally a couple of heats away from already.
Well, if she were to get there, how do you think she'd go on the championship tour?
Definitely better.
Really good.
Okay, let's get some insights from Kira Pinkerton's camp. Chico Alves is with the GER.
Hello, boys. Yeah, I've got Brad. Brad, good luck with me. You're coaching Kira, and right now she's competing against the #1 right now, Tia Zabrowski. What was the game plan for it like this? We were speaking a bit. How hard is it to compete against someone like Tia, so special?
Yeah, well, thanks for interviewing me. I'm really stoked to be coaching Kira. She's a very powerful and stylish surfer, and she has a lot of strengths and she has some weaknesses, and that's what I am working on with her, some of her weaknesses. And in this situation, Tia Zabrowski is she's such an excellent surfer. She's very fast. She positions her board radically. She's stylish too, and so I think this is probably the hardest heat in the contest. And so Kira's got one score at a 5.5. It was a very massive turn, and she's in the driver's seat. She's got priority right now, so she's got to compete better than Tia, and she has to bring her A game with her power, and that's her weapon, is the big power turn. So it's about relaxing, and it's kind of interesting. Surfing is an interesting sort of a sport. Now she's sitting there. This is the competition part. When she stands up, it's the performance part. If you're still mentally competing when you're riding the wave, we see that all day. The surfing doesn't really raise your pulse. But when somebody's performing at a high level, like who did I watch? There's been a few in this event. Luke Thompson's been surfing very well. Then you get, that's where the big scores come from. So she's looking at a wave right here. Let's see if she's going to give it up and let Tia take this one. So
let's see what happens. Thank you so much for your time and knowledge. It's always really good to have you here.
Absolutely. And what I do is I teach a way of surfing I slow everything down, and I use my format, which is called Wave Key. And Taro Watanabe did it for 10 years. I had Connor Coffin on here. He did it for about 6 years. I have some of the best surfers in the world doing my training because I know what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah, I'm very experienced, and I love helping. It's really fun.
That's really pleasing for the surfing world to have you here, and all your knowledge is always really welcoming. So thank you so much.
Thanks, and I'd just like to shout out Portugal. It's a beautiful place, great waves, great food, great people. What a cool place to be and to have a competition.
Thank you so much. Good luck for Kira. Hopefully she can turn this around once again. Back to you, boys.
Yeah, amazing. Love those insights from the go. We've got to get him up in the booth, haven't we?
Oh, we've got to get him in the booth. I'll just listen to Ger talk all day about surfing. Like
he could do that quite comfortably as well. He's a talker. He's good.
He'd also like to meet, if he wants to slow my surfing down, I reckon Wave Key might suit me, mate, because it's really, really getting kind of glacial at the moment. But yeah, he's a deep thinker, He talks about strengths and weaknesses, I suppose. I was interested in your approach, Paul. You identify your strengths and weaknesses yourself as a commentator. What are you working on? What do you, and what do you need to build on?
Yeah, when you say working on,
yeah,
you mean like intentionally trying to do differently?
Yeah, that's work. That's cool work.
Yeah,
Paul Cool doesn't need to.
No,
just get in. Keep doing what you're doing.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's such...
Don't need to overthink it.
He's a thinker. He's so articulate. He's so fun.
Yeah.
And imagine having that guy just there, passing it on. And a real, as we said that...
Well, yeah, sorry, to the point we were talking earlier, the significant differences between his time is the coaching thing as well. I think it's probably like the main thing. And like back then, surfers, you were good when you were, high school, and you were just sort of sent out into the world on your own, maybe with an expense account. So you go and have your fun and... no phones or internet or any of that stuff. It's just using paper maps and listening to sort of cassette tapes in the car. If your hire car had a Stezza, that is. They didn't all have one. But how different to now when you've got all of this advice being offered, and also in terms of preparation, people.
Would you say that? I mean, obviously that's helpful having, you know, high quality people around to give you advice and the sports psychology. But do you think sometimes there might be too much noise, too many people sort of in your corner, as opposed to finding out your own way and building your own sort of platform? Like Gurr just did on his own. He's now developed a system of coaching and almost a philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I don't think there's too much advice in terms of how to compete and how to be out on tour. I'd maybe say on the surfing side, you can see people being overcoached, can be quite mechanical. You know, you can see certain styles now where people look like they're surfing to surf for heat rather than that real natural style, and that's what Brad was talking about, the performance, someone that's really just expressing themselves. It always looks better. I think there is quite a bit of mechanical stuff, and that's, you know, it's not necessarily a thing that kind of screams out entertainment to you as a fan when you're watching.
His breakdown of the two different parts of competitive surfing, hold that thought as Zabrowski about his competitive surfing here.
Here she goes, TT. Good looking wave. There's that style, releases and drifts, makes it look cool. And then back with speed. A quick snap on a soft shoulder, a little jam back to the whitewash, and then out. So not doing too much, doing just enough. Turns that are all distinct and different. She's got the edge here.
Yeah, Brad's, it was a good point. Like, there's, you know, the two parts of the heat. There's the surfing part, which is what we're watching now, and then there's literally sitting out there when you're in your head. So it's kind of interesting to see how much you focus on those two aspects of competitive surfing, the mechanics, the actual technical aspect of it. But I would say that, I mean, the 95% of the actual heat is out there, out the back, in your own head. And that's where it's a really interesting trying to either quieten it down or ramp it up. Tia's seemed to be pretty good at both. But yeah, it's a fascinating little breakdown there from the Gurr.
Just over 11 on the clock here. On the prowl, back out. Tia Zabrowski, a number to come her way. Good chance of getting an improvement on the numbers here, making life a little bit more tough for the American Pinkerton, who's had priority for a little while. She's got that 5.5 in. And she's going to need to find numbers at the moment. It's 5.08. That may well swell in size, that requirement, when the score drops. At the moment, it's your world #1 on the Challenger Series, going all right and leading the heat. More live action from a beautiful Saturday morning in Portugal real soon. Back to the action here in Ericeira, Portugal. Stop 4 on the Challenger Series. And it's this tour where we send surfers to the elite to compete for world titles. And a new look to the CS this year adds quality, adds events, adds a further dimension for surfers like Kira Pinkerton to try and express themselves. And after A long old priority hold. Nightmare paddles, doesn't catch the wave, and in the interim, Zebrowski got the improvement, 6.33. That number's ramped up now to 7.33 required by Kira, and she'll have to do it for the time being at least from second prior. Been a mistake there.
Yeah, massive mistake. I mean, you just can't afford to, you know, Joe was talking about it. You know, you're up against one of the best surfers in the world right now. You kind of have to stack everything in your favour. You know, you've got to do everything in your power to maximise your potential, and that's just paddling for a wave and not taking off is a huge error. Yeah, so especially with 7 minutes to go, she's right in the heat still. Only a 7.33.
Tell me about this positioning there. You saw Tia look round. She looked back to her corner, her crew, and they told her, go and get where Kira is. What's that about?
Well, she's just basically playing defence. She's going to go up, keep her in her sights. Kira now in second priority, so Tia can choose which wave she wants to do. And look, that simple error there of not catching that wave, losing the priority, she had to absolutely change the strategy straight up. And yeah, it's good advice. Look, Tia sits right there, gets next to her. If a wave comes through, she's going to get the best one, and she's not going to let her opponent in any way, shape or form have her own way. Yeah, and like those guys know they're competing so well. So yeah, Pinkerton in a real bit of a hole right now. Hasn't had the ability to show her power, which girl was talking about. Her strength was the power, was the way she approaches the wave, and she's in a bit of a box.
In terms of comparisons in the sort of path and the trajectory of Tia Zebrowski, who similar have we seen to basically what she's done at her age? I mean, think of the rise Molly Pickler, maybe not quite that young, doing this much damage on this tour. It's been a little while since we saw someone this precocious in terms of how old they are and the results they're getting.
Yeah, I think we have to probably go...
Steph?
Steph. But even Steph was a little bit, I mean, not in the scheme of things, 16 or so.
Tyler Wright won a CT at 14?
Tyler Wright and Carissa Moore are the two ones that burst on at this young age. And in one of the interviews, was actually with Tia's dad. She's like, when did she have the dream of becoming a CT surfer? She said when she met Carissa Moore when Tia was 8, and she said, oh, that's what I want to be. I want to be that girl. So, yeah.
Pretty good role model.
Absolutely. And, the fact that it's been handed on, it's like a baton, isn't it? Like for that spark to be lit at such a young age. So, yeah, I think the Carissa Moore analogy is probably the best one. I just think at this age, we haven't seen a surfer this young, this fully formed. And, yeah, so KK.
5 on the clock, just over that. It is Tia with a pretty dominant lead in it. The American Kira Pinkerton, she's linked together some turns that she needs to find a bit more quality. That was her best wave.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. We keep going back to Gerber, but he's so insightful. Her power is her thing. And even with those 2 turns, she showed what she's capable of. And just finishing off there. But unfortunately for Kira, Zebrowski just fought back. Really good wave selection. She's got that fin release, that style, that aggression. He came through just every time Pinkerton got a bit of a foothold in the heat, Tia just came back so strong.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, the power aspect of it. This morning, slightly underpowered, softer conditions. It is quite hard to kind of unleash. It's more about being nimble and speedy, and it is pretty hard to get hold of. There's that one lip she could belt. Otherwise, it's kind of a running pocket, and it's proved pretty tough thus far for Pinkerton. She'll try and get away here.
Just trying to get away.
Goes Tia from deeper. A double up. All right, let's see how this choice pans out for her. She's got a runner in front of her. She'll float slightly tentatively. And then a flatter section. It's a sticky snap. All right, so not a lot of good surfing on display there. Now it will be priority and a chance for Pinkerton with 3.5 and probably one more chance with Pryor to try and get the 7.33.
Yeah, so it's interesting that choice. Tia was advised by her dad and coach on the beach to go up and sit on Kira and, sort of play a lot of defence. And because of that, she kind of took off on a pretty, she would never have caught that wave in any other circumstance, but because her opponent had paddled up the reef. So I think that was actually a good move from Kira. She's got control back.
Well,
yeah.
Because she took the wave before, she managed to get wider, which means Tia couldn't really see how good the opportunity could have been, so she had to kind of take it from deeper. And generally speaking, when you don't have priority, you want to sit underneath. You can kind of control the end of a heat.
And so in that circumstance, I mean, it's really easy to say, but would have Tia been better just to sit on the best spot of the reef and wait for the best wave rather than get involved in the mind games, Paul?
We'll find out in 2.5 minutes. Some lines trying to make their way down the reef here. It is the American Pinkerton in the red that does need a wave. It needs to be good as well. It'll need to be the best wave of the heat. 7.33 is the requirement for her on a morning which has offered some quality sections but just slightly dialed down energy with this low water. As the tide pushes in, we will get more pulsing sets on the reef here. Dealing with conditions and picking the best waves has been key to success at any event, really, but particularly this one with the tidal swings, with the changes we've had throughout the days in terms of the magnitude of the swell as well. Probably get a wind shift. So all of those factors coming into consideration.
Pretty unique also for Pinkerton. Also the name of a very good album from Weezer, Pinkerton. So I don't know how many surfers have album names. Paul, can you think any off the top of your head? None. None. It's unlike you.
Great.
It's a great album.
Party. Just over a minute on the clock here. Kira Pinkerton continue to be patient. She'll look at the ocean and say, what are you providing me? Can I have another chance here? Just give me a wave. Let me go at it, get some speed, and just ask a question of our judge and panel. I mean, it's just patience at the moment. And another heat from Tia where you feel like she hasn't had to compete very hard. She's not had to do a lot, really. She's kind of taken this one very much in her stride, surfing, well, maybe 50% of her ability, maybe even a little bit less than that. It's very ominous indeed to think how good she can be when she's really pushing.
I mean, this has been her par performance throughout the whole year. She's made a quarterfinal in every event she surfed this year. So
in her life on the Challenger Series, all time.
Yeah, her points tally.
It's frightening, really,
per
isn't
event.
it? Yeah, it's quite scary.
Yeah, it's she's just ready for the next level. Basically, she's too good for the Challenger Series.
If you're a top CT surfer, if you're Molly, you quaking? You quaking in your boots?
Yeah, you'd be watching these heats really, really closely and thinking that we've got someone coming in that could really make a difference on the tour. And they'll have strategies for it, yeah, for sure.
Oh, here we go. So, Pinkerton up here, an opportunity. 7.33, the number. This wave now soft. She has to just cut back. And this thing will just fizzle out. So, it's another semi-final for Tia. It's a decent result for Kira here. Quarters is pretty solid. It will be a helpful result for her campaign. But when you get this close, you'd love to really go all the way, get into the final, try and get a win. I think she'll reflect on the fact she just didn't really have particularly many opportunities on the better waves. Tia once again just showing she can do it in all sorts of different conditions, and even if things are a little more sluggish, she can do that. And she'll be looking to come back for semis and beyond. I think she'll be thinking about getting the win here. She had the call up last year to surf this as a wild card, ended up making the final, and even then she was like, wow, probably should have won. So she's definitely thinking about the win here, and she's on track.
That's one of the sort of, in this glittering CV at such a young age. She hasn't won one of these events yet. She's made finals. She's obviously made the quarterfinal. So, yeah, that's That's something she hasn't done yet, and that's what she'll be moving on. 2 more heats, she's got it. But look, she's already #1 on the Challenger Series rankings. She's going to improve the things, and her dad's happy.
Yeah, all smiles down on the beach here. Another great performance from Tia Zabrowski. Will keep rolling with the women's quarterfinals. A great looking heat hitting the water. Stay tuned.
The EDP Ericeira Pro is brought to you by EDP, official energy of the EDP Ericeira Pro. By Visit Portugal, Europe's best surf destination. By the Mafra City Council, Ericeira, a world surfing reserve. And by Millennium Bank, official bank of the WSL in Portugal.
We are really starting to make our way down to the pointy end of the draw here for the EDP Ericeira Pro with quarterfinal action coming your way. Quarterfinal heat number 2. It's a big one. Amira Suzuki taking on Anat Laylor. Feels like these are the 2 underdogs of the event so far and 2 of the standout performances. I'm Jessie Starling, joined in the booth by Ben. Mondi, how was that opening round heat? Mondi.
Yeah, it was good. It was just further kind of confirmation, more evidence of what we've got, what surfing's got on their hands, and to see it unfold in real life. Zabrowski, one of the real talents, this incredible young surfer coming through. So, you know what? There wasn't a whole lot of drama. I'm going to be honest. It was just a very good young surfer just going through the gears and being too good. So, yeah, it's that mix of predictability matched with the fact that we've got, an incredible talent on our hands. So, yeah, it was really great to watch.
Yeah, rematch of last year's semi-final in that quarterfinal heat 1 as well. And Tia Zabrowski getting Kira Pinkerton again. So 2 to kneel for that man-on-man.
But enough about the surfing sort of business. I mean, it's there. We're all into it. Let's talk about the Starlings. What did the Starlings get up to last night? The flock was out. Was there a murmuration amongst Ericeira?
Yeah, we had a nice family dinner.
Did you? Go through, talk amongst yourselves, bit of lay it on the table?
Yeah, just debriefed the day.
Yeah.
Truzy, the oldest one, she got her nails done.
Did she?
Yeah, went all goth on us.
About bloody time, I say.
But no, it was nice. We just had a nice family dinner. I mean, Ericeira, I know we have this awesome comp, but as far as like a place goes, it's a really cool holiday destination as well. There's so much to do around here.
Yeah, it's one of the great cities, surf cities of the world. Let's call it.
What did you find yourself doing last night?
I had a party. Yeah. Portugal's best DJ.
Mental.
Which, it's not saying a whole lot. Hold that thought.
All right, and Nat Laylor, just a quick up and down there. So just trying to find her feet so far in this heat. I've actually heard rumours going around this morning that you may have been best on ground when it came to dance floor and more action. But right now, Amuro, she's having a party. But this out here this morning, this is her first wave of this heat so far, looking for a spot in the semi-finals. Brings it back around to the power stage. You can see it's a lot sleepier, these waves this morning here. But Amuro getting the best. But like I mentioned, heard you were potentially best on ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's not for me to judge. You know, it's not my style. But I would say I had some friends come over from the UK, and it's really good to have fresh eyes on a place. You know, I've been coming for a long time. I love it. I absolutely love it. But to show, a few friends what this town has got to offer, it does put it through like a new lens. You know, it's like you're seeing it for the first time. And we had a ball there. Yeah, there was down at Indigo. It's awesome, great food, good music, great people. I mean, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, what more can
The
you
only
ask
thing that
for?
were missing were the Starlings, actually. It was
I know.
noticeable by their absence,
I know,
I would say.
I was on my best behaviour last night. I was very tired from what has been a jam-packed week of surfing. Starting this heat off, that high mark right now. It's that 4-point ride from Amuro. And it looks like we got plenty more waves on the way here. And Nat Law, probably the standout on the women's side for me, just looking so sharp on her backhand. Puts it up and under the pocket here. Really drives hard out of that second carve. Then up again for this third. So, and Nat just really piecing together the turns right now. Not going to go for that inside section. Looks a little different this morning than what we've seen in these usual morning heats. Potentially this low tide making it fatter. It feels like it feels a little bit slower this morning.
Yeah, I mean, as with a lot of these reefs around this part of the world, the mid-tide is the best time. You know, the low tide sucks the water out and means that it gets a little bit weaker. The high tide can actually swallow up the swell. So we're in that little in-between stage. And that,
Wow.
I've been lucky enough to watch that surfing progress over the years. The Israeli surfer, and she is at that level for a long time. But hold that thought, because the Japanese surfer is up and riding.
First ever women's bronze medalist in the Olympics. Amuro Suzuki trying to back up this 4-point ride here. Just laying down the rail. Nothing crazy happening so far on this wave, but you can see both of them trying to turn more waves than what we saw in that last heat. So a couple of waves going down, but I mean, she's the talking point of the Challenger Series. She's number 1 on the rankings. Tia Zabrowski through to the semi-finals on the glass with Claudia.
Tia, you're really going through the gears in this event. Guide us through your heat.
I'm just really happy to make it to the semi-finals. To be in the finals day again is super nice. It was really hard to stay with the wind, but I managed to get 2 good ones. I fell a lot on my waves, but the important is that I make my heat, so really happy to be in the finals day.
You're so well positioned now with more points on your pockets. What's going through your mind? What do you feel?
I don't know. I just saw the section. I just want to hit it. You know, like, I don't know, like doing boxing, you just want to hit your competitors. And when I saw that section, I just wanted to give my all to do big and good turns. So, yeah.
A few words in French.
Coucou tout le monde. On est encore dans la finals day, donc je suis super contente. On va aller jusqu'à la fin et puis voilà.
Thank you so much. Good luck for the semi-finals.
She's a pretty cool character.
She just wants to hit her opponents.
Yeah, I'd be a bit scared in boxing as well.
Oh my God, I'd be terrified. Walking in the ring with Zabrowski, that would be, yeah.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah, you would. What if you and True were going to the boxing ring? Who would sort of come out top, you reckon?
Well, I'm a lot bigger than True is.
Yeah, so you.
I'm a lot taller, so I'd say me. But True, being so small, defaults to cheating and bites and tickles.
But
because
sometimes it's not the fight and the dog, isn't it?
No, it's
the
not
dog in the
about the
fight.
size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
You got it right.
True and I used to do jiu-jitsu when we were younger, and
Right.
Dad put us in that to learn some self-defense. And so if we ever had an argument, it was we pulled the couches back and had to wrestle it out. And that was how we sorted things. But this replay here from Amuro feels like that first turn it was the highlight of this one.
She's never rushed, is she, Suzuki? She always just got that smooth style. She never forces things. It's a real talent to be that sort of technical and that stylish. And she just doesn't push it. Sometimes you just got to think you're waiting maybe for a bit more flair almost. If we're going to be critical, which is kind of our job to a degree, just to add a bit of flair, a bit of unpredictability, but she's just so stylish that it doesn't always come.
Having a look again here, staying super busy in this heat right now, way up the point. She's going to have to get out of this one. So Amuro trying to shift in this lineup, stay alive, keep catching waves, never know when that next opportunity is just going to rear its head way out in front. Right now it is just that 4-5, so that high mark for Nat Law. And I mean, what a standout she's been. Think about those last two heats. Actually, the last three heats. She's been surfing from the opening round. She's been just lethal on her backhand here at this point.
Yeah, I've seen Nat, surf really well. I remember, I think one of the first times I saw her, and actually Andy King, who's a friend of mine and a coach, Coach McFanning, and the Red Bull team, one of the Gabriel Medina, like one of the elite coaches. He was like, and Nat Law is like, he just said she is an incredible surfer. She's like, he had identified her talent really early, and it's all kind of surprising that she's never really reached that next level, that CT level. She's been battling away the whole time, so committed, and I think she's ready. I just think has the surfing talent to really get on that next level and make a difference. So, the talent's there and the drive's there. It's almost, I'm a bit perplexed why it hasn't happened, actually. Only she will know. But she's ready, so we'll see how she goes.
Yeah, it feels like Nat has that something special about her surfing that would pretty easily fit onto that championship tour. Think about that backhand at a place like Snapper. Bells, which we draw a lot of similarities to Ribera here. Margs on those big rides. We know she's not scared. I feel like El Salvador, there's so many waves that definitely suit her style of surfing. And she's just been that surfer who's really just come out the gates, really made the most of just all this room that's moving around on the rankings here. But 22.5, it's a little bit sleepy right now. And I feel like as far as heat strategies go, it's going to be an interesting morning with this infilling tide and slightly less power in the surf. Those two strategies of, okay, do I catch lots of waves? Am I going Jetson Andre? Or am I going to sit and wait and just try and pick the eyes out of it?
Yeah, it's a decision that they'll have to make. You're right. And it changes heat to heat as well. So you can't. I mean, you can have a plan. Obviously, they can go through it, what's going on, but because it's ever changing, you've got to adapt in real time. We saw yesterday some of the best surfers. Okay, hold that thought.
And Nat Law starting to go up and down on this wave here. That's a better looking third turn. So 3 nice sections there from a Nat. We saw her come in from the morning surf this morning. Went out there for the early set. It was really fun. So she knows she's comfortable out here. And those 3 turns, they had a bit of grip behind her. And Amuro, she's looking at that wave as well.
Yeah, used the priority well. Nice little first turn. Gets it up and high. She generates a lot of spray. That's one of her trademarks, and then right in the pocket. So, I mean, with the conditions the way they are, like today, this is a very good wave. This is what you have to do to get through. Always vertical, always trying to find the power source. Surfs here. The last we've had I think last year's Challenger Series event. She came here living in the van. She's got a super cool van. She's still in like a month here in Portugal. She spent so much time hanging out here, so she knows.
Way.
Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah.
Pretty cool thing. Both
van
these
life.
Van life. We see a lot of that back home. I feel like we've seen a lot of those big camper vans set up around here as well. This is what we're talking about. It's kind of like a hot spot for people to come and hang out at. I mean, I totally get it. Really fun waves, great food, great waves actually all up and down the coast. You know, this isn't the only spot. We obviously get a really fun point break here at Ribera. But cool and new thing that we have in surfing is that both of these ladies are Olympians. They both surfed in this new really high stage. And that's a feather in their cap that no one can ever take away from them. Such a small group of humans really get to compete on that stage, including this lady. Like I mentioned earlier, has a bronze medal. She's up and riding, looking to get her best wave, and just fumbles on that one.
Yeah, it was a poor wave choice, and there's the Nats. Coach is like, right, refocus. She goes again. Can't make that. So, yeah, a couple of poor decisions there from Suzuki. Yeah, the Olympics, it's been really interesting in surfing, isn't it? The way it's impacted the sport. You know, one of the latest sports to come in. And so, obviously, the world title is the ultimate. And, you know, getting on the CT is what you want to do. But just every 4 years to have that little extra element for surfing, maybe, you know, legitimizing a lot more, giving more interest from, you know, non-mainstream surfers. It's been an incredible addition to surfing, and obviously in LA, you know, in California coming up the next Olympics, it's going to be even more focus, you know, more people watching it. So, and Amira to get a bronze medal, I don't know where she keeps it. I'd be wearing it.
Where would you keep your Olympic medal?
I'd wear it.
All the time?
Yeah, like a necklace.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where I would keep it. Like, would you frame it potentially if you couldn't wear it all the time?
I'd just be wearing it the whole time.
Never taking it off.
Never.
What happens when the next Olympic rolls around? You're still wearing it?
Yeah.
Forever.
I mean, yeah. Absolutely, because you've got that bronze. No one can take it away from you unless someone physically takes it off your neck, which I'll be wearing it. Yeah, no, I'd be wearing it.
Okay.
I mean, people get tattoos, don't they? Like,
yeah,
at the Olympics,
yep.
Get the 5, like Michael Phelps, incredible, but
a lot of them got the Olympic ring as well.
Right.
Really nice silver ring with the Olympic rings on the ring.
Yeah.
Ring.
Well, all that stuff is great, but why don't you just wear the actual medal as a...
Yeah.
It's a bit clunky, though, I would imagine, isn't it?
Pretty cool that we have,
heavy.
like, 2 Olympic medalists still in the draw. I mean, think of Cowley has that big gold, and then Amuro with that bronze. And it's such a new era that we have into this, like, modern-day surfing, and something that I think a lot of, you know, that golden era time surfers would have loved to have been able to compete on that stage.
Well, and also there was that famous image of Gabriel Medina at Chopu, which just brought surfing into so many different people's lives. So, yeah, that's so important, isn't it? That, you know, we love surfing. We just want more people to do it. Like, not maybe at Snapper, where you come from, but just to open up the joys of surfing and how much fun it is, how healthy it is, how enjoyable it is, all that stuff. So I think, you know, having the Olympics does that, which is really, really important.
Amuro looking to build here, but just a fat-looking wave for our Japanese surfer. She's got a 4 and a 317 at this point in time, but that last wave for Anat Law coming in at a 567. So we got a new high mark of the heat, and that with those 2 highest scores of the heat so far. Potentially a little bit of energy rolling through now, and that with priority. Amuro trying to make her second guess her decisions there. It's trying to sell her. She wants to try and break free of this priority rotation here.
We'll see if that's the paddle. I would say these surfers are getting a little bit caught up in what the opponent's doing rather than just trying to position themselves in the lineup. But Suzuki, here she goes.
Yeah, uses up this first priority. Nice looking opening snap here from Amuro. Trying to build some speed down the line. Snaps in the pocket. Just the 2 turns here, so feels like she'd had to force it, but still got some nice surfing done.
Yeah, that first turn was great. It's such tight margins, and that last wave, it was a small wave just because of the conditions, but she got a 5, 6, 7 with those like 3 critical turns, so you don't need much. And that first turn from Suzuki was really, really impressive. And she's just she needs a 617 get back in the lead. But she even a 4 or a 5 will get her much closer. She goes back out. But that I was saying, Jess, that concentrating on what your opponent's doing rather than just trying to sit in the right position in the reef, try and get the best waves. It's easy to say from here, isn't it? You've competed. It's difficult just to block out your opponent and try and surf the waves. But I think in the last 2 weeks, both opponents have been a bit caught up what their opponents have been doing rather than following their own mindset.
I feel like, especially when you get to this part of the draw, you've made it so far into the quarterfinals, you're so close you can taste it, and I feel like these heats are even more stressful than those early round ones where you're just focusing on your plan, executing your waves, and then it really does start to shift into tactics. These man on man, it's when you want to know your competitors' weaknesses a little bit more. Do they need a good start to the heat? And if they don't have a good start, how good are they fighting back? So these guys would know this. So maybe trying to play into that. Amuro having to let a Nat go on this one. Priority with our surfer in blue. Starting to unload on this wave here. She just really has a lot of drive off that back foot. Nice snap there to finish it off right before the rocks here on the inside. So she's dancing pretty close there with those inside shelves. And Nat just feels like she's on the better waves. And Amuro, maybe a mistake with that last wave. That previous to last didn't go into her top 2, so a mistake with priority there.
Yeah, it was. It's cat and mouse, isn't it, Bat? She's going to try and make amends here.
High lines that first section. That's a better looking turn. Her best of the heat so far. She's got such great technique off the bottom. Really allows her to push hard as soon as she's back up the top of the wave. Gets out as well before those rocks. So we now have a bit of a heat on our hands. Showdown on those last 2 waves. Definitely felt like both of those surfers best so far. So Amuro, she's been playing catch up, but she got some nice work done on this wave.
Yeah, we like this. Look at this turn here. That's a bit of a layback, a bit of aggression. This turn I liked as well, the spray. Pow. So she's definitely got a groove. This is Amuro's best wave. You'd imagine really back in the game. And look, that calmness. We talked about how stylish she is and maybe that she needs a bit of unpredictability. There it is there. Does a little bit of, old school layback. And this was the wave she kind of sold a Nat, but a Nat a bit more short and shut. She throws so much spray and that. So there's the two differences in these two surfers. Law, a bit more vertical in the pocket is her kind of focus. Suzuki sort of drives down the line and uses her rail work. It's a lovely contrast. And where these two scores in is going to be really important. I just think Suzuki is way back in it.
I love the mini Japanese flags. They're just represented themselves so well with every single person getting a mini Japanese flag. You can see they're always down here supporting each other. Amuro, she's always back down supporting any of the other competitors in the draw. Although Amuro, the last one left flying this flag, representing Japan in the draw. Feels like she's going to need another wave. It feels like she's going to need to try and better yet again and hope that Nat doesn't do the same in these next 11 minutes 40.
The Japanese surf culture too is the Olympics are really great for showcasing what that country has, but it's such a unique, vibrant surf culture that the Japanese set up. There's so many good waves in that country. There's so many great surfers, and they do it their own way, and it adds so much to the sport. The way what they bring to it. I was lucky enough to travel around the world and surf, but you turn up in Nias or in Indo or Hawaii, there's always just some Japanese guy or girl absolutely charging. They bring so much to the sport.
Yeah, they're incredibly talented. One of their finest in the water right now. Amuro Suzuki needs to fight back though. We'll find out if she can dig deep and find it right after this short commercial break. Back for more live action here at the EDP Ericeira Pro. 9 minutes left on the clock here. Quarterfinal heat number 2, and Nat Law holding down the lead. Amuro, though, locking in her best on that last exchange. It's a 5-4. We've got scores to lock in for our lady in blue. She betted again on her last exchange. It was a 5-3-3. Bit of movement coming out the back now. Amuro with priority. Decides she doesn't like it. We're waiting for this last wave score to lock in for a Nat. Comes in under. So the situation is set. And Nat Law out in the lead with a 5-6-7 and a 5-3-3. Amuro chasing a 5-6-1. Felt like she was really starting to find her strides on that last wave, and potentially now when it comes to crunch time, this final decision she's going to make in these next 8 minutes, feels like that confidence is really building her way, Mondi.
Yeah, she's just turned it around a little bit. 8 minutes on the clock, real crunch time. Both, I mean, quarterfinals, they're always huge, but for these two surfers especially, this is a big result. This could, you know, potentially career-changing, or let's big it up, potentially life-changing. And so with 8 minutes on the clock, we've got Suzuki needing a 5-6-1, and Nat Law needing to improve on a 5-3-3. So, yeah, it's really going to come down to potentially this next decision, this next wave choice. And obviously in the box seat, Law has been really, really impressive, but it's going to come down. It's going to come down to this 7 minutes of high octane action.
We've got a little bit of a break, and we've got some news, and we've got Claudia with Miguel Fortrez to fill us in with what's going on.
That's right. Situation change here, Miguel. What's the call for now?
Yeah, so the swell is super slow this morning, and the tides are starting to be big. So we made an option to do the 2 heats of this round tomorrow. That's because there's a new swell, like 6 foot west swell, really good direction for here, and we expect a really good day tomorrow. We're gonna do a call at 8 to start 8:35. So tomorrow, stay tuned, it's gonna be really good.
High expectations for tomorrow. Now back to the action in the water.
We are off for the rest of the day. So we got 2 quarterfinals done. Dangled the carrot a little bit.
Boo.
Boo. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's
it
good
makes sense.
call, but I just want to see more high-quality surfing action. You know what? I'm already over it. I'm going to focus on the next 6 minutes. I want more. I can't get more. There's more coming tomorrow.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's absolutely fine.
It's going to be okay.
Thank you, Jess. That's important. That helps a lot.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, new swell coming. Good direction. West. They love a west swell around this part of the world. Not too west. Don't get me wrong. Just the right amount of west. And tomorrow is west. So we're good. And he knows it. So it's going to be pumping. It's been slow, but here goes Suzuki chasing a 5-6-1, Jess.
Yeah, floats his first section for Amuro. Wave really starting to lack a bit of energy through here. Now it starts to build. Amuro up into that final section. Out the back, though, Anatle Law, she's just got really great wave selection this morning. She's finding these waves, able to unleash, but just goes down. You can see the coach on the beach saying, get back out there. We know how crucial priority is in these dying stages. And we got a bit of a paddle battle going on, so we'll see if Amura can make some ground, but it looks like Anat's absolutely put the heaters on. She is just going for it to get priority here. Amura, though, not backing down. She wants this priority, so 2 scores to lock in. Do you see it going to the 5-6-1, Mondi?
I don't think so. I mean, she put it in, she went for it. Just didn't think it had that little bit of extra. The best wave was the 5-6-7. Those really 3 or 4 tight arcs from Anat. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I've been done before. Here she goes. Let's break it down here. She comes down. That's a check turn, not much in it. Yeah, she's just waiting to try and open up, bounces through it, and that's not enough. So she needs more than that. Meanwhile, Laylor just sticking to the pocket. 2 turns, trying to improve on a 5-3-3. She's been doing this all day. If it ain't broke, she makes a mistake at the end, and then here we go, live action.
Yeah, this looks like it's got some nice energy behind it. Lots of water out the back there for Anatle Law. Keeps the energy moving down the line, but doesn't like the end of that wave. So she's going to get back out the back. Amuro briefly losing priority, so maybe a quick up and out for her as well. 3.5 minutes to go. Scores in for that last exchange. It's not the score for Amuro. It came in. It's a 3-5-3. Doesn't go into her top 2, so she's still chasing. 3.97 for the last of Anat. So maybe could have gone somewhere close to that 5-3-3 with that finishing turn. But right now, all eyes on our Japanese surfer chasing that score. We were touching before, talking about the Japanese and just their rapid growth of just surfing. Recently, I've been lucky to work in a lot of the Asia QS events and the regional events. We do a lot of co-sanctioned events back home.
Co-sanctioned,
yeah.
Yep.
So Asia and Australia, they merge for pretty much their whole season, or close to it.
Wow.
And they are just the sweetest, kindest people. And we actually have a big leg of regional events straight off the back of Brazil, which a lot of their surfers will be heading over to. We've got Philippines, Siargao, Cloud9, and then we go over to Taiwan. And I feel like there's this really cool region and this group of friendship growing between the Australian and the Asian surfers just because of how much time they spend together. And the Japanese over the last few years have really made their mark on surfing and showing that, you know, they're here to stay.
Who's your favourite Japanese surfer?
Oh, don't
Jess?
put me on the spot like that. But if I had to,
That was quick.
if I had to, I'd say Conor O'Leary.
Oh, yes.
He represents Japan.
What?
He flies
the
that
Australian
flag.
one?
Yeah, flies that flag. You're welcome.
Yeah, Connor does fly the flag, and his mum is Japanese, so he's Japanese. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
Don't worry about it, mate.
We like Connor, mate. Yeah, who does not like Conor O'Leary? One of the greats of surfing, one of the nicest guys. And there's some swell at the back here, Jess. We got 1.5 minutes to go. Suzuki with priority, needing a score. We might get some fireworks before it goes off for the day. I'm hoping this is where we see something just to give me to hold on to for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
A bit of excitement.
We know you need it.
I need this. I need this, Jess.
Can hear some whistles from the beach.
You have no idea how much I need this.
There's something coming out the back. We can see Amura's support crew saying, get over, paddle up the point, try and get onto this wave a little bit deeper. We can see it starting to break out the back here. Will it eventuate through? 60 seconds on the clock. You got to hope so for Amuro Suzuki. Paddles deep. She's swinging. Looking here. Our Japanese surfer. Nice full roundhouse cutty to start this one off. Stays in the pocket. There's a snap. She's going to go up again. Body language looking a little deflated there.
Yeah, you can tell by the reaction from her and the coaches that wasn't enough. Didn't even try and sell it, to be fair. Not a big number. not much more she could have done with that wave. She had to go. Look, there's no other waves coming through except for this one. So we'll see if Anat showed what Amura could have done. And yeah, she had to do it. And she surfed it pretty well, but it's not enough. It looks like Leilor through to the semi-finals. Job done. This is a massive result for her. Really, really important in her career. And she's 2 weeks off.
Yeah, best result of her career so far. She's going to be moving on through to those semi-finals. We know there's big points on the line, but Amura, a fifth is a keeper result. It really is, especially with these 7 events now. It gives you more opportunity to make a couple more mistakes, but for Amuro, she didn't really make too many here. Unfortunately, just wave selection letting her down in this heat. You can see Amuro saying, is it off?
Hopkins out there.
It is.
Guess who's the first person in the water? Hopkins.
She was
out there.
in and dressed by 6:45 this morning. She had surfed before the sun even came up.
It's something only I could ever aspire to. But yeah, she's out there. That is a massive. We see the emotion. Now. Look, it means a lot. She's kind of bottled up now. She's like, right, and not job done. But yeah, that is huge. And now it starts to get her mates with Steve Zabrowski. They're like.
There's those final results. Really loving the sportsmanship here. This lady on your screen, she's moving on through. We only had 2 heats today, but they were some pretty good ones. So we're going to have a quick 5-minute post-show right after a little ad break here, but we're loving the support. We're going to go to break, and we will be right back with just some more entertainment for you guys, just because we love you. See you soon.
y falta las cuartas de hombre también. Falta dos baterías de mujeres, 4 de hombre y después semifinales también.
Welcome back to Portugal. It's Ribeira Dilas on a Saturday morning. It's just a little bit sluggish in terms of wave energy. That's why we've called it. So just a couple of heats run for the quarters for the women. We came down to look at conditions and we thought, well, we'll do what we can. It says we've got plenty of time, but we're working with tide. But we've actually decided, you know what, tomorrow's got plenty more juice out there. We're going to make the most of that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really great call. We could see this swell. It was coming from a long time out. The wind going a little bit more favourable. Swells west. Not too west, but just the perfect west.
Just the right amount. 301, absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's going to be pumping tomorrow. And at this stage of the game, so important, so much on the line. Yeah, let's wait for for waves.
Just the right amount of shredding was laid down in that last heat of the day, our second quarter, by Anat Lelo. She's with Claudia.
And that conditions change while you're in the water, still you into the semifinals. Got it through a heat.
Yeah, definitely a sketchy one. Again, Amu is such a great competitor. It's always nerve-wracking competing with somebody so good with a lot of knowledge. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately for us, the condition kind of slowed down pretty quickly. In the morning, it looked promising for us, but you know, it is what it is. We deal with the ocean and it changes a lot and we need to change with it. And I was lucky enough to get the right waves and use my priority smart enough to pass it.
Now you have the rest of the day free, ready for a pastel de nata?
Yeah, of course. I was just telling you I'm already hungry and I need another coffee. Yeah, but I'm going to take the rest of the day off, maybe surf a little bit with Tia Zabrowski. See, I'm excited for a heat with a Grom, and a Grom that's not so Grom anymore, but yeah, I'm stoked. It's a good life and I'm just living it.
A few words in Hebrew.
תודה רבה לכולם, באמת לא מובן מאליו, גם התמיכה וגם העובדה שאתם כל יום פותחים את היוטיוב באפליקציה whatever לראות אותי. תודה רבה, אני מאוד מאוד אוהבת אתכם, אני מקווה שכל החטופים יחזרו כבר הביתה, אוקטובר זה נהיה חודש קשה בשביל כולנו, אני אוהבת אתכם ונשיקות.
Thank you so much. Then that's it for today. Call tomorrow 8 a.m. And if you're around it, decided don't miss the express session.
Mind games, I'm calling that. I'm going to go surf with the Grom, try and get in her grill.
When are you not classified as a Grom anymore?
I'm still a Grom. A lot of people call me a Grom. So that's an answer to your question.
Perfect.
Never. Paul, when you're a Grom, what's the Grom cutoff? Age.
14. Let's remind ourselves what went down in the first heat this morning. Quarter-final set. It was clean conditions. There were lines bending around here, and it was our number one surfer in the draw. She was ultimately just too good.
Yeah, Tia, she's just no slowing down. No wonder she's all the way at the top of the rankings here. I thought Kira, she might have had a chance just to outpower her. She's got so much aggression when she does really connect. That turn there, really nice. This was kind of the main swell that we saw come through this morning. But Tia, yeah, she's just so good. I mean, such class for such a young competitor.
Yeah, she's unstoppable almost. It's finding it really hard to find. Well, Anat Lelo was about to find out, but just finding it very hard to see who's going to beat her at this level. She makes the right decisions. She's unflappable. She's calm and collected, and when she surfs, she's just so good at, it's really, really, it's kind of crazy how good this surfer is.
Yeah, and everyone was happy on the beach as well at the camp. Just little brother, the whole family. So not surprised that we're going to see her into the semi-finals, just considering how consistent she is on the Challenger Series. So, yeah.
Those young kids, those young siblings, they're used to a 7 o'clock call, aren't they? They know the alarm. The whole family gets up. They get the 6 o'clock. We're going down. Tia's surfing. And, they're just all in it together. It's incredible to watch that whole family getting behind what is the star of the sport.
Our second quarter decided who Tia was going to face. And it is going to be Anat Lelo that we just heard from. But a good matchup. There's two real technicians, and Moro's technique is amazing at a wave like this, but with less energy, it was Anat able to make the most of it.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again with her surfing. She's got a really great pivot point off the bottom of her turn. She pushes really hard off that back foot. You can see even with her pumping there, she's just consistently driving down the line here for Anat, and she just had really good wave selection. I mean, capitalized on these ones that allowed her to open up multiple times. Nothing crazy, no massive scores being locked down, but just a smart heat from Anat Lelo.
Yeah, really very, so consistent, made the right decisions. Amuro, she was all smiles before the heat, wasn't she? But just never really got the ways to show her style and her calves. This was an important decision. And that, pull the trigger and these little tight pocket snaps, basically what got her through.
Yeah, and that just really classy stuff as well. Amuro, there was a lot of frustration there as well. I felt like as the heat went on, got more and more frustrated. Had a close answer back on that last wave for her, but unfortunately that clock just did wind down and we really did see the energy just get sucked out of the ocean there. So Anatle Lorte-Zabrowski, that's going to be a really interesting semi-final number one.
Having a look at the bracket there. And it will be TT and Nats. And looking at Yolanda Hopkins and Alyssa Spencer, who have been ready to paddle out. And then heat called off. We saw Yo-Yo just take the jersey off and just paddle out. And then, of course, Indy Robinson and Sanoa Dempfle Olin. So that's where our other two semi-finalists, again, they come from. And in terms of surfing with more energy in the water, a bit of power, it might have a little wind as well. But I think everyone will take that. They'd prefer a bit of size with a bit of wind.
Yeah, for sure. I think the energy and you know what? It's more opportunity is the crucial factor. It's not so much about the size and how good the waves are, which is important, but just the fact that it decreases the risk and the luck factor.
JJ, who you like in between quarters 3 and 4? Who's your pick from that 4?
I'm going to go Alyssa Spencer over Yo-Yo. Sorry, Yo-Yo, absolutely love you, but I'm going to shake things up.
Whoa.
I know, because I know you
know
guys
we're on air, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Correct. And then the second one, I think I can see a dark horse in Sanoa, so I'm going to say Sanoa as well.
Mundy, Mindog, what are you saying?
For the other semi-final, yeah, I'm going to back Hopkins. She's so
Classic
close
Mundy.
to the CT. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And yeah, but I just can't see anyone betting Tia Zabrowski. I'll be very, very surprised if she doesn't win this event.
A lot of talent there in the bracket for the women. Let's flip over and take a look at the men's bracket and see how things are shaping up. And 8 incredible surfers, each offering something a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, we think about these really clean lines of George Pitta. He just looks really in tune with this wave here. GP, thank you. But Lucas Vicente just on attack mode. I mean, so that's a really cool contradicting heat quarterfinal number 1, but my eyes are definitely on quarterfinal number 2. Lukey Thompson, Tomo, taking on Luca Messinas, just two really informed surfers. And I just feel like Luca, he's starting to catch fire where Luke doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
Yeah, there's those 4, obviously all those 8 surfers have been in such good form. But yeah.
Who's the dark horse there? Who's that sort of...
Amatrayan,
Boom.
I would say. In terms of rankings, down there, 60, I think, coming into this event.
Vicente has dark horse energy about him as well.
Bit less pressure on them, maybe?
Yeah, a lot less pressure. But maybe could start to overthink it a little bit. I'm here, I need to get deeper in the draw. So we'll see.
I think pure statistically speaking, easy for me to say. Amatrayan's numbers have been huge. Like he's posting the biggest numbers of all the surfers. So, yeah, I think he's one to watch.
You're doing really well, Ben, all things
Thanks,
considered. Paul. Let's come back tomorrow morning, a 7:30 call for an 8 o'clock start. We got a lot of questions. We'll have answers tomorrow. What we'll also have is champions as well, and a much better idea who's really solidifying or going well towards CT qualification. A bunch of cool storylines. They'll all play out here in Ericeira tomorrow. We'll see you then. Stay tuned to WorldSurfLeague.com. You.
You.
I'd like to do a tune for you now that I wrote myself. It's a story about a girl that would rather go blind than to watch her man leave her. Something told it was over, babe.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.